Right. I just very quickly wanted to make a very quick message. I actually owe a thank you, and I've thought about this. I also owe an apology to only part of an apology to someone, the person who let me know on Facebook that Dan from Police Abusing Powers had made a video about me, which I still intend to have removed. That person, Robert, I won't say your surname. I can't remember what it was actually, but I owe you both a thank you for, well, of course, for letting me know that Dan had made that video of me, but also thank you to you for letting me know about the General Medical Council, because it's a bit awkward, but I actually went to the doctor's surgery today, and I wrote a note for the GP, and I let them know because I've put a load of stuff in there. I even sent an email with extra information because it's been years of hell, and thank you very much for suggesting that I do that, because I wouldn't have known if you hadn't have suggested that. I never knew about that before. Well, I might have vaguely heard of it, but I don't know about these things, you know. I'm in the darkness, so I'm trying everything that I can. But thank you for telling me. I also thought I felt a little bit guilty that I said your age, and I didn't mean to be patronising. I was just genuinely angry and frustrated that uh, that you weren't um, you wouldn't report, well, you wouldn't do what you said you would do, and I was frustrated because you were gonna find out where Dan lives and report him and all of that, and I got frustrated, and I said your name and age, and I said you're such and such years old, you know, and I well, you know, it's anger and frustration. I would never normally say things like that. So I'm not sorry that I was angry and frustrated, but I apologise for saying your age, because I think that might have been a bit much and come across as patronising. But anyway, thank you. So a thank you where a thank you is due, and an apology where an apology is due. Even though I was still frustrated. So anyway, thank you for doing that. Um, and also, I'm glad that I delayed my report to the General Medical Council, because I then get this notice to quit this place for no reason, apart from some emails that I sent. In fact, I might just read them out. Um, they don't like it if you complain. They kick you. You're out on your ear. Even though I've reported crimes and things haven't been done for me that they said they'd do, and oh, I'm not the only person. They're all saying this place is terrible and they don't do what they say they'll do, and things haven't changed. You know that phrase, polish a turd. But it's just been such an eye-opener. The past 6-7 years have been such an eye-opener, these places. Um, but I went to a certain place, I won't say where I went, a medical place, and the girl in there was so nice and helpful and understanding. And unfortunately, it's been ruined this evening, but I might actually go down and tell her what's happened, because I was telling her what I've been through and how I've had 26 years trying to ask for help. And I walk around, the reason why I'm not on drugs and things like that, I walk around in a disassociative state. I mean, when I go into the shopping centre, I'm in a disassociative state, because it's like I used to go there as a child in the 80s. So I've got this sort of thing going on. Yeah, but I've been asking for help since I was 14, and but she suggested something that sounds brilliant. I don't really want to say what it is, because of these infiltrators. No, I'm not going to say what it is, because people infiltrate things. So, but this social, shall we say, a type of care coordinator. I don't want to say what it's called, because, as I said, people try to mess things up. They've already messed up my live stream, so I can't live stream. But I can still upload videos. So, but yeah, I've been suggested to try this, because apparently my doctor's surgery offer this service where they might be able to help with housing and mental health and other issues. Nothing's worth holding your breath for, though, not when you've tried everything, Community Connect to referrals and referrals to this and that, and not getting anywhere with anything. But because that girl was nice, my doctor's surgery do this service, they do this service. I've changed my doctor's surgery several times in this town, and I think maybe I should leave this doctor's surgery and go to them. And anything to get that friendly face on the desk who understands to some extent. So yeah, I think, should I read these emails? Is it worth me reading them? I don't really think I should waste my time. I'm shattered. I feel like an old lady all the time. I stayed in that hotel I only meant to have 2 nights, and I was in there for about a week. So these were the emails to the people here where I live. I have to let this Luke Harris know. Yeah, I even sent it to the inquiries at 18th of February. I apologise in advance. This is private. At the top of every email that I've put private and confidential, formal complaint, FAO, manager S. Lisa, at the place where I live. I apologise in advance, as I do not know your surname. Actually, do you know what? I don't really want to read it out, because it's... No, because it's private and confidential. I don't think it's a good idea. To be honest, I'm just absolutely... No, I'm not going to read it out. No, because they're emails, and I think some things should be perhaps I should keep it private. I'm only documenting. No, I think I'm going to leave it. But I don't know. What did I? It's very difficult to put things into emails. It's very difficult to keep things concise. It really is. It's when you've got so many issues that have just built up over many years, you don't mean to give them all to people, but it becomes a thing where you're giving it all to people. Yes, I was talking about what had happened in the last place that I was in. I talked about yeah, so I was talking about the trauma of how it's a very, very long email, very long. But I said how Ferguson had hung up on me after doing this so-called welfare check, how I'd been in, I was a victim of council and police corruption. My mother was dying of a rare cancer in 2009, exploited, wasn't helped. And I was here 6 years ago, and I was abused by staff here 6 years ago. Had my interim duty illegally discharged. Horror stories. Worried about my physical state, because the state of this brand new kitchen, I'm not going to show you with the laptop, but I have got takeaway stuff and food stuff all over the place. It's becoming like the flat that I lived in after my mother died. So it's trauma after trauma after trauma and undiagnosed OCD that Leslie, the food bank advocate, recognises. Because I got stuff in several. I took 82 photos of the state of the flat to show Stephen Lloyd when he was in office, before Caroline Ansell was MP and before Darren came into all my problems. And I got stuff in several places, and I'm worried people don't see what goes on behind the scenes. Yeah, so I go on to say, like, I've added to the 99% of bad reviews on Trustpilot with the local government and social care ombudsman. My bedroom window was smashed and I was attacked, and Juliet was there. I've mentioned that in a paragraph. Police brutality, plenty of arrests, crimes committed me, which is up to life in prison, malfeasance of office. I'm the sort of person who complains about smoking in bus shelters, which is £100 fine a time. £100 fine a time. And dangerous fast cycling on the promenade and pavements going against the highway code. I helped a plainclothes police constable one time throughout the targeting. So this is what I mean. Why is it Lisa? Why are this is a private and confidential email? Oh, you've been complaining about all of us. It's a private and confidential email that Lisa should be taking seriously. Oh, well, I read what she put in the letter in the last video the other night about that. And then I go on in a really long paragraph. I go on to say that how 2 weeks ago, on Friday the 3rd of February, I received an email confirming devastating news that my father's been dead for over a year, and no one told me. I still do not know what happened, and I put it in bold capitals. On the Monday prior to this, I'd been extremely suicidal, which is ongoing and occasional due to circumstances and bereavement, etc. Blah, 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 blah. I was encouraged to see Pepper, the mental health nurse. I'm ordering takeaways and getting into a terrible state. I'm struggling. I just ordered a breakfast. I should at least appease staff to know I'm trying. I reluctantly saw Pippa, the mental health nurse. Let my breakfast get cold. Later on that evening was when Jim shouted at me on the desk. It's a really, really long paragraph. and how I've put in bold that the staff have abused my trust, because I've put that in bold because they've said that I've been recording people here when I haven't. I put in the email that I admitted that I had recorded Jim saying that he remembered me here 6 years ago, and I didn't have to tell him that. And then, of course, this evening, that's the only time I've recorded anyone here. And they complained that I made a noise nuisance, when in actual fact I've been complaining about noises here. Me and the lady next door have been complaining about children and people running up and down, which is really loud. And then someone played music loud outside. And then the night that the drunk woman was screaming and shouting outside, I went out to go and have a go at the police, because I had been beaten by the police over a welfare check on Beachy Head, which they love doing to me, and stripping me naked. When I found out that my father's been dead for over a year. I mean, hello? This is what I mean. If you're a criminal, if you're a drunk, if you're a drug addict, if you are, you know, a real sort of down and out, and I don't mean that rudely to anyone out there, but, you know, you've got to be proper down and out and play in the system, it would seem. And I'm not labelling anyone as a down and out here. I'm just saying that if you present a certain way, but then they're still calling you crazy, when in actual fact they're psychopaths who are saying this, because we're all human at the end of the day, and everybody's got a breaking point. And I went over that breaking point and I've become a target. So that's what these emails are all about. I'm not going to read it all out because I can't actually believe, I don't know where I get the energy. I'm just running on adrenaline. But I've put so much information in these emails. And I've mentioned it's a miracle I've survived, and I've put all of this in block and bold. I've gone on about the woman who was mugging the elderly, Sherelle Clark, with her mother, and how it was mentioned in the do you know what I mean? It's just, what do you have to do to get through to people? I'm a woman who needs support. I'm not on severe disability for no reason. And PIP. They say so many MK Ultra victims are. I'm still not receiving any support with domestic abuse, because Darren obviously bringing post here, even though I didn't tell him where I live, but he's obviously guessed where I live because he's been watching my live streams, evidently, because Juliet hasn't told him, or Eben. And I've got that, obviously I don't know what to do about Eben, because she's been abusive, behaving strangely, and a threat to dispose of my things, and then saying she has or she hasn't. Well, I've reported the care coordinator to the General Medical Council. So, you know, hope you're watching, Eben. The 77 Brigade harassing calls, texts, anonymous calls from fake, corrupt, corrupt police community, i.e. police abusing powers. Stole my friend, me and my friend have reported vile videos of me online. One basically saying that my father deserved to die. One obscene phone call and photos of me and my partner stolen from Facebook. Breaching my disclaimer, video with a picture of me beside a black penis because of the obscene phone call. I mean, come on, Lisa. You're a manager, has to do with mental health. This is it's like sexual obscene abuse. A picture of me beside a black penis on a YouTube video. And an obscene call in the early hours. And I told Lisa, she had every opportunity to come down and watch. She knocked on the door, but I couldn't hear her because I was sleeping and had rest. Because I'm not functioning. I'm not getting up and eating. That's why I've had takeaways delivered here. It's ridiculous. They had a chance to help me in supported accommodation when my mother was dying of cancer. I was forced to sign a homeless application form. What do you think's going to happen? She wasn't just my mother. She was my soulmate, and she knew that. My mother would be 85. We were like that. She cried for me. God. And there are, talking of elderly people, there are elderly people here, the council put here, and they're not even, that moron on the desk, when he was Mr. Nice Guy, like Dan from Police Abusing Powers, Mr. Nice Guy. He even said to me that he feels like he can lose it with people sometimes. Yes, lose it with the idiots, not with the decent people. He's just a moron. I thought he was a nice guy. You move it, you give people a chance, and very quickly they show you what they're really like. We don't bring meals up to people. So they've got elderly people here who can't even get up and down the stairs. And they're meant to be in a care home, not in temporary accommodation. We don't think that this place is right for you. No kidding. This is all brand new. They were putting down clean carpets. This furniture isn't mine. It's all brand new. It's just ridiculous. I was here 6 years ago when this place had a bad reputation. So I go on to say my human rights and civil liberties have been breached. Oh, there's loads. I put loads of stuff on here. I mentioned the Facebook page of when there was a petition online saying stop bullying vulnerable people, and clearly nothing's changed, as you can see. I mean, the last time I was here, me and a grandmother were threatened with forcible removal by another idiot who was working with Scottish Basil Fawlty. I mean, I think he's an alcoholic. But the other one was ex-Navy and making out that he sorted out the real thugs and criminals, and he wasn't. He was threatening me and a grandmother with forcible removal because we were complaining. Anyway, mustn't complain. Must not complain. If you complain, you get in trouble. I've even ended the email by saying I type in capitals due to PTSD and to emphasise. I mean, come on. I'm estranged from my siblings, and I've needed help with the abuse from them since my mother died. I still don't know the details of my father's death. I've got domestic abuse issues and no one's helping me whatsoever. I've put that in bold right at the end of that email. Thanks a lot. So that was on the 18th of February. A second formal complaint was the complaint about Ferguson. When he came in here to do a welfare check, but wasn't really hearing me when I said what the police had done to me, and I still don't know how my father died, and then he goes to the desk and hangs up on me. And Lisa, the manageress, said she'd look into staff hanging up on. Nothing's changed. People just don't care. That was on the 19th of February when I was lying down, sleeping, suicidal, anxiety attacks, and I've put it in the email, I was having very vivid nightmares of PC McCarthy the night before assaulting me, as he did in reality, leaving me bruised, injured after a so-called welfare check. I forgot I had nightmares about PC McCarthy until I read this email. He was demon possessed, I can tell you that. He was gonna. In the nightmare, I was saying to him what I said in reality. Is your mother proud of you? And he said, "Don't you dare." Oh. I had a dream about my grandmother the other night. It was very real, as if I was going to actually go and see her. It's like the rapture dream that I had. Well, maybe all of this is for a reason. But yeah, this whole email is just basically saying what happened, my trauma over my father, and I've put it all in capitals. And I mentioned the so this is my second formal complaint about Mr. Moron. And I've mentioned the obscene phone call in bed, and they don't care. They're not responding to it. How the 101 call handlers, I've recorded them consistently hanging up on me and going against the professional standards department. Apology. I had a written apology for them doing it, and they've continued to do it, even though I've had these crimes committed against me in this flat, which are on YouTube. So, yes, are these crimes logged? They all knew about this because I reported them a few months ago. I said that I went to a conference in Battle and met an Sussex police whistleblower, and I've let him know about this. It's a small world. He dated the mother of children I played with. And he judged me on appearance because he thought I was a glamorous lady at the conference I went to in Battle, and I'm not. If people take things, anyway. Yeah, Gus Ferguson, he practically saw me fainting on the floor because I was like, oh, sorry, I've got to kneel on the floor because I'm not eating and drinking. I'm slightly anemic. And, but I stormed up to the reception when he hung up on me, even though I was fainting at the point when he came in here, because I wasn't fainting, but I was faint. I was like, oh, I'm coming over all faint because I'm not eating, and I'm dehydrated as well. I've only been getting up to go to the toilet because I'm supposed to be signing a register every day, and they know this. They know I'm not well. They had every chance to help me in supported accommodation. I've even put it in the email, this second complaint about Mr. Moron on the desk, Ferguson. This is what I was like in supported accommodation. So why come in here to do a welfare check on whenever it was, the 20th of February, and they know us. They're all informed. So they're booting me out, even though I've admitted I can hardly eat, get up, go to the toilet. I've got clutter everywhere. I can hardly function. And they want to boot me out. How you're seeing me now is taking me 5 days. It took me a few days just to wash my hair. Even now, I'm shattered. It's 2:14 a.m. I haven't eaten. I haven't had a shower. I've come out of I hardly see daylight. To make myself look and feel good. I mean, I'm technically speaking, I should be on drugs. Lying in a ditch, raped, murdered, who knows? Take your pick. This is how traumatized I am. I've had, an early midlife crisis, and it's all just hit me hard, and all the trauma and not getting the help. Everyone's in their own bubble. Yeah, repeating myself again, repeating myself. So much for the website that says they're trained in mental health, when it's just more abuse, negligence, and nothing much has changed. Blah 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 blah. The Trestle Trust Food Bank ignored the online petition. I've mentioned. I keep repeating the same thing. This is trauma. This is trauma. Keep repeating the same thing in capitals. It's not even basic. It's not even basic. Thank goodness. Praise Abba Yahweh that Juliet can see through the BS. Because I think, I don't know what I'd do without Juliet. I mean, I know that I've got a lot of idiots watching me on YouTube. But I'm hoping and praying that I've also got the ones that aren't idiots and trolls, the intelligent people like Juliet and me. I hope you guys are watching me. Do you know what I mean? Really, this is just like, I mean, this is basic. I'm not asking for anything. Just, oh my gosh. But this is what I was saying to this lady about this medical practice. You're going round in circles. Yeah, I'm repeating about my father's death. I'm repeating things because I'm traumatized. That I used to have fantasies about building a time machine and going back in time and murdering myself as a newborn baby so that I would upset my parents. I'm hurting over domestic abuse, emotional abuse. Hurting over everything. Everything. FAO, management, no. Right. The next email is private and confidential. FAO management, no response to serious formal complaints. Dear management, on Monday I sent 2 long formal complaints, very long, private and confidential to the manageress where I reside. I was informed the manageress is off sick at the moment, but they are serious in nature, and that was on the 24th of February. Well, guess what? Yes, it was last Friday that I was given notice to just get out of here. So that was on the 24th of February. A member of staff tried to come in here due to a welfare check. And what I've done is I've copied and pasted what is on their website. Wait for it. This is what is on their website. I mean, I've gone on and on about everything else in my emails, but this is what... I put loads of stuff in my emails. As staff, this is on the website where I live, and I've copied and pasted it. As staff, that's actually, I might just put this in the description under my video. As staff, care for and respect our residents and clients alike. Really? Well, you can see the video where I've just been called stupid this evening. And our positive environment seeks to enhance the lives and the work of those around us. We seek to deliver excellent value for our clients and homes that exceed all government requirements. Our team of 25 oversee a portfolio of 140 flats and rooms in Hastings and Eastbourne, which are supplied to local authorities to provide short-term housing solutions to homeless people. Wait for it. Residents are supported by mental health trained on-site staff 24/7, benefiting those with multiple and complex needs. Listen to that last video, the last 2 videos where I've filmed Ferguson on the desk. Does that seem to you? Do these sound like staff who are trained in mental health and benefiting those with multiple and complex needs? Because I've got complex needs. I don't think so. And it's not really surprising that Ferguson has really stood up for Scottish Basil Fawlty, who screamed and shouted at me, "You've seen a mental health nurse! You've seen a mental health nurse!" Because she was even worse when I was here 6 years ago. There was a woman who had black bruises on her thighs. She was beaten to a pulp almost by her abusive psycho boyfriend. And then the next time I saw this woman, she lifted up her top and she had a massive white bandage across her stomach where she'd been stabbed in the stomach with a knife. Her psychopath boyfriend was a chef. And I was just like, oh, he could have killed you. And this woman from the East End of London, an alcoholic who's been in care homes, bless her, she just was normalising it. And it was like, and then Scottish Basil Fawlty comes up and says, "What are you doing?" And he talks to us like we're girls in a school dorm, you know what I mean? Or I said, I've just put some boiling water in her pot noodle. Right, well, give her the pot noodle because all the cameras are going off, and get back to your rooms. That's what he was like, and he hasn't changed. But they're all trained in mental health with multiple, yeah, whatever. What a load of old. I mean, these quite rough people out there, and I really don't want to talk to them again because of that weird, horrible woman. He said, "Oh, you're imagining it. You got gremlins in your head, love." And I came back and I said, I wasn't imagining it. I heard her say, it's like these trolls from Police Abusing Powers. Wish you would go and kill yourself. No, these people are not nice. You know, there's mental health and then there's degenerate. But I'm keeping well away though. There are only lady next door sits with them, but I just in the smoking shelter, she seems nice, but I just don't trust anybody. But they were like, oh, you know, they don't give a SHIT, they don't, oh, no, if that is what they're supposed to be trained to do and their website says so. But even Juliet's with me, we're talking basic, you know, just he'd be well in there with the police. I don't know, maybe they all work for each other. I know one thing's for sure. I need help and something's got to give, and it's gonna have to. Because if I've had flies over there, but imagine if I had rats or something. Then the council would be saying, well, if I had a baby or a child, that's usually when they say, we're coming in whether you like it or not. But I've been begging for someone to come in and help me. Do you know what I mean? There are only certain types of people that get that help. And I know because I've met them in the psychiatric unit. The mother of someone there's a woman who's been going there since 1979, since she was 17. And she said to me her daughter got the help because she had a baby. The council said, we're going to come into your flat and clean it out and declutter it because you've got a baby. This is what I mean. Some people get the help, some people don't. That's what the UK is like. So, and some people don't like me telling the truth, which is tough. So, yeah, there we go. I sent another email. Oh, no, I didn't. Oh, hang on a minute. No, because So I sent it on the 18th, 20th and 24th. Yeah, and I forwarded it to Juliet. So there we go. That's me done. I'm going to end this live stream now. If I can just find, where am I? So there we go.